and it is April 24th, the day before my birthday, and we're going to get down to one of my favorite big meals in my small kitchen. Too embarrassed to show it, but this meal goes back to my 11th birthday in 1984. My parents and my grandmother took me and our family out for my birthday to the Spaghetti Warehouse in Dayton, Ohio, and it was the first time that I ever had restaurant lasagna, and I was in love with it, and ate it nearly every time I could ever get to the Spaghetti Warehouse. It's still in business in Dayton after over 40 years, I believe. I found this recipe that very closely matches the Spaghetti Warehouse's recipe, and this is a big meal from a small kitchen, so why don't we get started and get our ingredients together. Okay, we're getting our ingredients together. I want to start off by sauteing some garlic. I cheated, I didn't use fresh, I used minced. But, look over here, I have got a fresh basil plant that I have had for 2 weeks now. I've been tending it, taking care of it to use it for this recipe. There's some parsley, and we'll show off the rest of the ingredients. I was browning the sausage and the ground beef in with the garlic, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to cut up some of that wonderful fresh basil. Just look at that cooking in there. That's really nice. Now I can turn the heat up so I can get this done faster. Got the rest of the ingredients for the sauce out. It's tomato sauce, tomato paste, it was supposed to be diced tomatoes, and I accidentally got a can of stewed, so I just chopped them up. Well, crushed. I believe the recipe says crushed. You'll have to check back with the ingredient list. But anyway, that's going to do the trick. And some more garlic over here. And we got our seasonings there. There's white sugar, salt, pepper. I use freshly ground pepper from the little store-bought hand grinder. And Italian seasoning, and there's our fresh parsley and our basil plant. Now, I'll only be putting a couple more leaves of the basil in there, but we'll be back in just a few moments to add all these ingredients in and get that sauce simmering. Well, earlier when I was frying up the ground beef and the sausage, I realized that I had forgotten to add my onion, but I chopped it up and added it in there. That's a pretty big piece. I love red onion. I put red onion in almost every recipe that calls for onion. I want to say thanks right now to my daughter Yvonne. She's holding the camera. And my son John is off to the side here. He's going to help me with adding the tomato ingredients to get this sauce ready. And son, could you hand me the tomato paste? Alrighty. Get this in. Water. There we go. Okay. Diet crushed tomatoes, please. This beautiful bowl of crushed tomatoes going right in there into the sauce. This is going to be a good chunky sauce too, because I bought the wrong kind of tomatoes. Tomato sauce, please. And the seasonings. Alright, get that in there. So sugar and oregano, salt and pepper. And last but not least, give me the basil and the parsley, please. The plate. Just hand me the plate, please. Thank you, sir. Let's get our basil leaf in there. And half, or I believe it's 2 tablespoons of parsley. I've been pretty generous with the parsley. I love the flavor of the parsley. So we're going to stir this up. Get it mixed in real good. Let it start cooking on a low simmer for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then we're going to cook up our noodles, mix up our ricotta cheese filling, and put it all together. So we'll be back when the sauce finishes cooking. Alright, we're back, and our sauce has been simmering for almost 2 hours now, doing really well. So I'm going to put the lid back over that. Let that cook a while. We've got our water started on the boil, and I want to mention something about salting your pasta water. It's really important, unless you're on a salt-restricted diet, to add salt to your pasta water. The reason why is because it flavors up the pasta. The salt soaks into the semolina and gives it a really nice flavor. So for about, this is about a 6-quart stock pot, and I've got it about 5 quarts full. We'll be boiling the lasagna noodles in there, and I put about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. You don't want to use oil. I mean, you can, but the more oil you use, the oilier you make your pasta. And if your pasta is oily, then your sauce is not going to stick to the noodles as well. Okay. We've still got the sauce simmering. The noodles are on the boil, and we're going to put together our ricotta cheese filling. So we have 2 pounds of ricotta cheese, some nutmeg, about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley chopped up earlier, and an egg. And the egg helps bind the ricotta cheese and gives it an extra flavor. So we're getting about a half a teaspoon there, or a little more maybe, of nutmeg. It's powdered. I would have preferred to have gotten some fresh, but you know, you take what you can get around here. So, and there's our parsley. Reach over and grab a fork to help mix this better. Here's the egg. I love that nice green and brown in the ricotta cheese. We'll mix this up. You know, while I was working on the sauce, while the sauce was cooking and simmering, I was in the living room going through some old pictures. And I found a couple of pictures from my birthday party that my parents and my grandmother took me to in Dayton when I first went to the old spaghetti warehouse for the first time. I don't have any pictures of the restaurant, but I got a copy of Donkey Kong for my Atari game system, and I found those pictures and I'm going to bring them up now and show them to you. Yeah, those are a good time. That was a fun birthday. Throw a little bit more parsley in here just to add some more green, and well, shoot, I'm just going to wipe the plate into it. Can't have too much fresh parsley. I love fresh herbs. Try to get your herbs fresh when you can. It's difficult. I mean, I got that basil plant because somebody at a local grocery store was really nice to me and appreciates me as a customer. But if you can't, you know, do what you can. Dried herb pastes, dehydrated is pretty good. You add water back to it and it almost brings back the entire flavor. Okay, ricotta cheese is done. As soon as the noodles are finished, we're going to put this thing together. Okay, everything is, the noodles are done, the sauce is done, the ricotta cheese is mixed, and we are ready to put this together. Now for time, I'm only going to do the first 3 layers and show you how I prefer to do it. The actual lasagna, this lasagna is going to go into the refrigerator after it's done being put together, and it'll be brought out tomorrow on my birthday alongside with another dish, fettuccine alfredo, which I'm going to make and film tomorrow, and that's for Karen. That's her favorite dish and a favorite of the household as well. So we've got everything ready to go. So I'm going to start by going a layer. You want to put a layer. You want to put some meat sauce down the bottom of the pan. That helps the noodles soak in. Start building on your lasagna. Now, oh, don't worry, my hands are clean. Let's get some sauce. Look at that. Look at those chunky. Look at how chunky that is. That nice tomatoes. Oh, you know what? I think I'm glad I got almost whole tomatoes and chopped them up. I think that's better. Yum, yum, yum. Now, the Spaghetti Warehouse, their lasagna is 15-layer stick. Now we have Molly at my feet while I'm throwing in the ricotta cheese. And you know, it's gonna make a mess, so you know, get used to it, because you're kind of shoving everything around. It's all getting mixed up there. Don't worry, because once all this comes together, it's not going to make a difference. And let's get a nice, healthy dollop of shredded Italian blend cheese. I like to use Italian blend instead of just plain mozzarella, because you got everything in here. You got mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan, Romano, Fontina, and Asiago cheeses. Yummy. Look at that. Just that first layer alone, I just want to dig right in like Garfield and go crazy. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now we'll sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. This is actually Parmesan pizza topping. Has extra seasonings in it. Now, second layer. I'm going to go crossway. And it's okay if the noodles are a little bit big. You can trim them, or you can fold them over like I'm going to do with this. I've got plenty of noodles, so it's not going to matter. So I thought this was going to take about 5 noodles to go across. Right. This is a big pan. This is much bigger than the one we used before. See, it's gone, you go lengthwise and crosswise. And that holds the lasagna together much, much better. Oh. Boy, this sauce. You should smell it. If they had smell-o-vision available, there'd be a line piled right outside my door. You know, my daughter is standing next to me holding the camera. Say hello to the people, Yvonne.
Hello.
She's kind of soft-spoken. And I was just thinking about, oh, what am I doing? I'm getting ahead of myself. I was just thinking about that great little scene in The Godfather when Clemenza calls Michael over to him right after Michael gets off the phone with Kay.
Come over here, kid. Learn something. You never know, you might have to cook for 20 guys someday. You see, you start out with a little bit of oil. You fry some garlic. Then you throw in some tomatoes, some tomato paste. You fry it. You make sure it doesn't stick. You got it to a boil. You shove in all your sausage and your meatballs. Huh? And a little bit of wine. And a little bit of sugar. And that's my treat.
And Clemenza's making that Sunday gravy, that amazing sauce, all that meat, wine, sausages he's talking about in there. Love The Godfather. It's my all-time favorite movie. You'll hear me spouting Godfather dialogue around the house. The noodles out of the strainer where they've been sitting and cooling. We have a broken noodle there, and that's okay. That doesn't matter because this is all going to go together and it's all going to look real lovely. And I just realized that I have to take the noodles off because I got into a big hurry. I gotta wipe my hands. And forgot to put on another layer of cheese. Cheese is important. It's the glue that holds it together. The glue that holds the lasagna together. So we have one layer. It doesn't matter which way you start the layers. It doesn't matter if the bottom layer is lengthwise or widthwise. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep that consistency going. So now we're back because with the second layer is widthwise. So keep track of that. And now we're going back across. And I think I'm putting almost the exact same noodles in the exact same spot. Don't forget, always keep your hands clean. So, here we go. It's the fourth layer. I think we're going to get 5 out of this is what we're going to get. 5, maybe 6. It's going to be great. So, tune in for part 2, which will be taking place tomorrow, for birthday fettuccine alfredo and a recipe that I learned how to make through a lot of experimentation. Everybody in the house loves it. So be sure to join us for part 2. Everybody take care, and we'll see you next time.